So I want to talk about something very important, and that's hosts, okay? Your hosts are so important, and I don't care if you're a QSR, I don't care if you're a pizza shop, a cafe, or a fine dining restaurant, your host's important. Now, I get it, right? QSR, I don't have a host, Preston. Well, your cashier is your host then. So we got to understand the host's role. And a lot of times, this is where I see companies fail, right? Restaurants fail, businesses fail. They fail because they improperly frame the role that they're giving their employees, okay? So I'll give you an example. You're a host. Your job is to seat people, greet them, smile, try and open the door for them, make conversation with them, all these little things, but they don't really talk about the actual role and the importance of the role. They don't distill it down to what it is, right? Every role should be framed this way, but we want to talk about the fact that as a host, right? If I was hiring a host on, okay? I was interviewing a host. Interviewing needs to be consistent. Your manager, supervisor, GM, owner, whoever it is, they need to interview the same way every single time, okay? Now you might say, well, Preston, what if I have 3 interviews with someone or 2 interviews with someone? You want to structure it as half of the interview is vetting the person, and then half the interview is setting expectations. So the first half, when you're vetting the person, right, that's when you kind of ask questions, and those should be good questions. If you're asking someone, for example, when's the last time a guest was upset and how did you make them happy? You've just teed them up to give you a story that they could just make up because you gave them the result that you want, right? You said, what was a problem? And then and how did you get to this solution, right? Well, when was the last time a guest was upset and what did you do to fix the problem? So for example, that right there, I would say, when's the last time you dealt with an upset guest? And you stop right there. Now they don't know where to go with the story, right? They're obviously going to figure out a way to tell you, but first of all, don't ever tee them up. Second of all, ask them questions they're not used to. Ask them questions like, when's the last time you think that someone didn't enjoy working with you as a coworker? Now they have to actually dig, and if they're making up stories, the more questions you ask, the more they have to dig, and the more they make up, they start all of a sudden acting a little bit different, right? They start you're putting them on their heels. And if someone's being honest with you, well, they're just going to be honest with you and they're going to tell you their honest thoughts and then you can make an honest decision, right? But those are questions that are important to ask.